Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Around South Jersey. I have three fantastic people, and you know why they are? Because you see what's over that way on my shoulder, the Cumberland Christian School. All three of these folks, my cousin Bill Probasco is the board president, is to my right, and to his right is Candi Connelly. I love Candi's name. She's director of development, and to the far portion of our stage here is Allison, who is the director of admissions at the Cumberland Christian School in Vineland. How many years, Bill, do you know this the Cumberland Christian School been there?
We opened in 1949 over on, I believe it was on Spring Street, and in 1956 they bought property on Sherman Avenue, and as you can imagine, about 10 years of fundraising before they started building buildings, and so it's been over there since.
Boy, what a great location.
Yep,
Really is.
Very good.
And we were talking before we went on the air about, I guess Ferreton Christian has a similar program as far as being a Christian school, but you're the only true pre-K to 12 Christian school in Cumberland County as far as having education with the kids having a teacher in the classroom.
Teacher,
as well,
yes, for each grade, yep.
Because the two Catholic schools, Our Lady of Mercy is in Gloucester County, and St. Augustine Prep is in Atlantic County. Got a great location there, you know?
Yeah.
So what got you involved, Bill, with Cumberland Christian School? Did you go there?
No, I did not.
Okay.
I would jokingly say my wife, but when our daughter reached kindergarten, we decided we wanted a Christian school, a Christian education for her. Even though my wife and I both went through public school, we wanted to go with a
Well, you
Christian
probably went through Shiloh School, right?
Actually, Hopewell.
Oh, Hopewell.
I live in Shiloh now, but I went through Hopewell.
Okay, I see.
Yep, and she went through Upper Deerfield.
Well, they're two good school districts.
Yep.
I did speech therapy in Hopewell. So
Yes.
all was good.
Long time ago.
It sure was.
I think I remember you being there.
Yeah, you were probably in 5th grade.
But yeah, we wanted our daughter to go there, and my son followed a few years later. We've really enjoyed it. They're both in college. My daughter's actually graduating college later this week. She's up at University of Monmouth.
Oh, I went there.
Yeah.
What a beautiful campus.
It is.
I only went there for summer session, for a 6-week summer session, but it's a beautiful school.
Yeah.
So where's Liam?
Liam's going to Asbury University out in
Okay.
Kentucky. It's a Christian university. Yes. He wanted to continue his education with a Christian background.
That's super.
So he's out there and really enjoying it, and they're both doing well.
That's great. What do you think Liam would want to be? Does he have any idea?
He's going for business right now. He does enjoy history. He does enjoy Bible and biblical studies. So
do you think he'd be a minister?
We've talked with him about that. I suppose that might be something he would consider, but I think he wants to help out his church in maybe a different capacity.
I see.
Yep.
Well, your dad was the best. My God, Owen Probasco was, of course, Bill's dad, and I'll never forget the wonderful Christian funeral service that we had for your father. It was just fabulous. And I remember going back to when your mom and dad got married, and that was a few years back.
I don't remember that, but
no, I know. Yeah. I was young then, believe it or not. But what a great church. You still affiliated?
Shiloh Seventh-day Baptist Church. Yep.
So that's Saturday.
Yep. We go to church. We're Sabbath keepers.
Yep, which is good. Well, anyway, we're going to move over and talk a little bit to Candi Connelly, who's Director of Development. Candi, tell us a little bit about yourself. Where'd you grow up and where'd you go to school?
Thank you for having us, first of all.
You're welcome.
Both my husband and myself grew up in Upper Deerfield. After getting married, we moved to Vineland. And like the Probascos, we wanted a Christian education for our children, so we enrolled them at Cumberland Christian. And meanwhile, I obtained my degree in elementary teaching.
Oh, that's good.
And started working there as well.
Oh, that's great. How long have you been there?
I have been there, well, I was there from 2014 until 2021. And I left last year to pursue other things, but I'm back as Director of Development as well as middle school math teacher.
Oh, you're wearing two hats.
I am.
That's fantastic. So, the Director of Development, tell us a little bit about what your responsibilities are for that position.
My chief responsibility would be to fundraise for the school. We have a lot of different events throughout the year that we fundraise for the school, as well as we ask for sponsorships as well, for not only the funding of the school, but for different things that are needed in the buildings and for the students.
And it's got to be a difficult thing because, well, I guess tuition, at what percentage do you think tuition puts towards your overall cost? I mean, or helps towards the income bill?
Not to be funny about it, probably more than it should. We really do see the school ride on our tuition monies, which, during COVID, as you can imagine, we were hurting a little bit, as a lot of schools were.
Yeah.
But we probably look to a 80-20%.
80 tuition and
80
20%
tuition, yeah.
from things that Candi would be
Yep.
working on. Have you had any good, successful fundraisers in the past? Candi, do you remember?
Oh, I believe so. We've had several, including a golf tournament we've had the last couple of years. We plan on having another one next spring.
Right.
And we look forward to working with local businesses and churches to sponsor that for us.
Right. Well, soon my buddy Mike Trout is going to have his own golf course over in East Vineland.
I don't know if any of us can afford that, but
Well, I don't know if any of us could be members, but he might be kind enough to let you have a golf tournament there. And he's and John Ruga, I don't know if you know him. He's a wonderful Christian man. John Ruga is too. And so anyway, that is a good way to bring in revenue, because the people who play the golf tournaments love playing golf, so it's something they would like, and it's a win-win. They have fun playing, and they can give to the school to help with the cost and that type of situation.
right. And that's just one thing that we look forward to during the school year. We also have some things like the Community Spring Fair and Carnival that is coming up in May, on May 20th. It's a vendor show, as well as carnival games, concessions, music. We're asking the fire companies and local police departments to come out as well. So that's a free, there we go. That is a free event to our public. So we would love to see everyone there. We're also having a car wash, as is mentioned there.
That I need.
So please, everyone, come out, and if you or anyone you know would like to be a vendor, please contact me. I would love to share that with you.
Okay, and as you see there, we've got games and prizes and bounce houses and fire trucks and vendors and plant sale and car wash that I need, and so much more. It looks like popcorn and balloons and all those kind of fun things.
Yes.
And I'm sure it's a fun day.
It's going to be a great day, and that is on May 20th.
From 10 to 3. And folks, take the family, go out and have fun, and the little bit of money you spend will help the Cumberland Christian School, right? Which is
very appreciated. Yes.
I guess as we talk about the admissions, Allison Heider is the admissions director. Now, how long have you done that, Allison? Did you just start?
I did. Okay. I started in January. So relatively new position for me, but I've been at the school previously in other positions. So I'm very familiar with the school. It kind of was an easy transition into this role because I worked as an administrative assistant, and when you're in the office, you get to know everything about the school. So, it was, even though I'm new in the position, I know a lot about the school.
That's wonderful to come from within the program rather than bring somebody outside who doesn't know the people and all the good things that go on at the school. I mean, I've got to believe that anyone who is obviously interested in a good education for your child and a safe education and all the good things that goes with Cumberland Christian School, it can't get any better to go to a school than that. And the one thing we didn't mention was the admission price. Is there a certain amount, and then if you have 2 children, it's a little bit less? Tell me a little bit about that.
So our tuition is very comparable to other schools. In fact, Fair and Christian has a little bit of a different education model, which we kind of went over, but they're the only ones with lower tuition than ours. Our tuition equates to about $540 a month based on a 12-month payment plan, which goes to about $135 a week. In total, it's $6,500 for the year. Because of COVID, we did lower tuition for a couple years.
Right.
Just like with everything that's happening now, right? Your gas bill, your electric bill, everything is going up in price. So our tuition did go up from last year, and kind of because of the way things are and the prices going up, tuition is a flat rate for all students.
I see.
So
Okay, gotcha.
pre-K through 12, pre-K we have a part-time program, but full-time pre-K through full-time 12th grade is one set price. Now, the tuition back in 2018 was what it is now.
Oh,
so
that's
we
good.
didn't go to
No.
a crazy amount.
Right.
It's just similar to what it was prior to COVID.
Yeah, and that's good. And again, folks, you're talking about a wonderful Christian education, small classrooms, you know, and I'm sure I was telling everybody, I was telling Bill and Allison and Candi before we went on the air, talk about the quality of kids that come out of Cumberland Christian School. Bob Middleton, this father, had said to me many years ago, Jim, I hire every student that comes and applies for a job from Cumberland Christian School to work at the restaurant. He said they're respectful, they're honorable, you know, they are just good people. And that's, I'm sure you all value that a lot. I'm sure that's why, Bill, when you looked at, you know, your daughter and son, this is the place I want them to be. And boy, as things get rougher and rougher, and I, you know, I'm sure if you talk to people in middle schools and things like that around the county, even it's like unbelievable situation that just lack of discipline, I guess, seems to be there. Lack of respect. I don't know if I want to say discipline, but the language is like, oh my goodness, I can't believe, you know, that's being used, and it's sort of something that none of us want. None of us want for our children, our grandchildren, whatever it might be. And you know, this is a great place to be able to be, to Cumberland Christian School, and has a fantastic reputation, as we all know. I mean, I have never heard anybody say, anything derogatory about Cumberland Christian School, because you've got good employees, you've got good staff. Who was the
Head of school.
Yeah, the head of the school.
Our head of school is Miss Cindy Hollingsworth. She is new to the school last year. Our previous headmaster was Ken Howard, who retired after 6 years.
Yeah.
And Cindy came over here. She has a diverse background. She taught for about 30 years down in the Florida Keys, and evidently that wasn't hot enough for her, and she taught overseas in Qatar for a few years.
Wow.
And administration over there. And we brought her over last summer, so she is leading the school now, and it's been a growth experience for all of us as we get to know her. She gets to know the school, and you know, we're doing good.
We're talking with Bill Probasco, the board president of Cumberland Christian School, Allison Hyder, the director of admissions, and Candi Connelly, the director of development. We'll be back to talk more about Cumberland Christian School and all the great things they have to offer for your children, and we'll do all that right after these messages.
Imagine living without pain. For over 35 years, Doctors Beebe and Doyle have helped thousands of people find relief from all types of pain. Millville Chiropractic Center has 4 doctors on staff specializing in hands-on or light-touch, drug-free pain relief methods. The examination, x-rays, therapies, and adjustments are all performed at one location. Schedule a consultation today. Enjoy life without pain and discomfort. Millville Chiropractic Center, the area's #1 pain relief center.
Complete Care has some big news to share with you.
We're here opening more locations and offering more services every day,
including our newest locations on Pearl Street in Bridgeton and High Street in Millville.
We're here with convenient, high quality, and accessible healthcare services all under one roof.
We're here just a call or email away.
We're here to provide compassionate care for you and your family.
We're here and we're ready when you are.
Complete Care Health Network, ready when you are.
I'm Brian Lankin, 3rd generation business owner, Al Shoes. Been at the same location since 1961, our 61st year. We specialize in work boots, work shoes, orthopedic shoes, baby walking shoes, and school shoes. We go up to a men's 17 and a woman's 13. It's $5 off 25 and 10 off 100 if you mention that you've seen this.
The most important decisions a family can make are usually made around the kitchen table. At DeMarco Luisi Funeral Home, we believe pre-planning and the difficult decisions you face with the loss of a loved one should also be made around the comfort of a table, like a family. Our friendly, kind, and compassionate staff is committed to helping you get through this most difficult time. In your time of need, trust DeMarco Luisi Funeral Home, Vineland.
Welcome back to Around South Jersey. My special guests this evening are Bill Probasco, Board President at Cumberland Christian School. Allison Hyder is the Director of Admissions, and Candi Connelly is the Director of Development. And as far as, Bill, the one thing I wanted to ask before we move on was the Board of Directors. Who's on the board with you?
It's a 9-person board at the moment,
Okay.
and without running through all the names, it's made up of parents, guardians, public school teachers, engineers. We have a lot of interested and devoted people that come out and volunteer their time to help out the school.
That's great. That really is, and that's something. Now, as far as admissions, Allison, how would a parent they just call the school to get a hold of you?
Yes.
And then they could come in and talk to you about all the things that the school has to offer?
Yes. So I encourage anyone who is interested in the school to give me a call. School phone number, my extension's 319, and then
What's the school phone number?
856-696-1600.
Oh, that's easy.
Yes.
696-1600.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Very easy.
And what's your extension?
319.
319. Okay.
And I encourage them to set up a tour with me first, so we could go through a tour, and then we come back to my office, and I answer any questions that they might have from the tour or even that I didn't answer during the tour. And then we also offer shadow days. So say your child is a 6th grader. They could come and shadow another 6th grader in our school for a day and kind of see what the school day is like.
What time does school start? What time does it end?
So elementary school drop-off begins at 7:55. School starts at 8:15. Middle school, high school starts 15 minutes later at 8:30. And
So
then,
you guys are ahead of the game, because that's what it should be. Junior and senior high should start later than the elementary and preschool.
That's what they all tell us.
Yeah. Well, as a teacher, honest to God, I am not a morning person. Somebody asked me if I wanted to go to some breakfast. I said, I'll do breakfast. They said, well, you don't have to eat breakfast, you can just come. I said, no, you don't understand. I don't get up till 10, so breakfast is over for me. But, I think that when I taught at Millville Junior High, the teachers had to be there at 7:30. No, I guess 7:45. The day started at 8 o'clock. And then the next year the day started at 7:45. We had to be there at 7:30. I said, guys, why don't we start at the true 12:01 a.m.? Let's get it started really early. It's like, why? But yeah, and some of those I understand, and you guys do have sports as well. One of the things that's important was making sure that the kids get to play the sports, baseball, softball, whatever it is, before it gets dark and all those things. So I sort of understood the reasoning behind it. But that's neat, though. They can send their child to school and they could shadow somebody else and see about how wonderful Cumberland Christian School is.
yeah, exactly. And also, along with the school day starting and ending, we do have extended care. So
You have extended what? I'm sorry.
extended care.
Oh,
So
great.
parents
Yes.
who
Gotcha.
need to be to work, we do offer extended care in the morning and extended care in the afternoon.
So what time from what to what would be your...
So extended care in the morning is from 7 a.m. to 8 a.m.
That's
Extended care in the afternoon is from 3 p.m. to 5:30 p.m.
Wow, so 7 to 5:30.
Correct.
So moms or dads, if your job requires it, I know I've had my grandchildren where they've had to stay because of mom and dad working, and a little longer, during the time. And it's fun. It's fun activities, and you're with your friends, your classmates anyway, so the kids don't mind, doing that. They enjoy that opportunity, which is something that's really nice. So I mentioned, I know we've done the basketball games and things. What other sports, Bill?
We have soccer in the fall for girls and boys.
That's great.
Middle school and high school. Basketball, as you mentioned, we have that middle school, high school, girls and boys teams. We have baseball for the boys, softball for the girls in the spring. We do have and have had track meets that we've done. That's probably not as developed as we would like, but we do have some track events we've done. We've had a golf tournament we've participated in for the high school students.
Oh, that's good.
And then activity sports, we've had chess club and things along those lines, as well as other activities that we can offer.
That's super. It really is. That's a great opportunity. And, the kids, so you have everything basically except for football. But Our Lady of Mercy Academy does have football. St. Augustine does, that's for sure. Of course, in all fairness, Alma's an all-girls school, so we wouldn't expect them to have football. They have a good basketball team, and that gives the kids something to look forward to as well. So the school, you said, started in 1949?
Yep.
Wow, that's a long time. What about church affiliation? It doesn't matter what church the family goes to, they're more than welcome to come to Cumberland Christian.
Yeah, we're non-denominational, and we actually sat down and looked at it. We have over 50 churches
that are
represented at Cumberland Christian School.
That's fantastic.
And that is a difference than some other schools in the area, whether they're Catholic or some other Christian schools in the South Jersey area may be supported by a single church.
Yeah, like the Friends.
And that has pluses, but it also has some negatives to it. So we are non-denominational and supported by many.
Oh, that's good. In fact, it's funny, years ago, I'm trying to think what church. I used to go to Cumberland Christian School Auditorium for church service. This was 40 years ago, maybe. Trying to think. Anyway, Dave Arnold.
40 years ago or 4 years ago?
Yeah, he was smart. I said that. Dave Arnold was his dad was the minister, but it was a great. Then they eventually moved over to Lincoln Avenue.
Living Faith.
Well, it's before it was Living Faith.
Okay,
Yes, you're
Living
right.
Faith
It's the same
there.
building.
We've had a couple other churches in there. We have Fusion in there right now. Fusion churches in there.
I've seen their signs around and things like that. I was telling Bill and Allison and Candi before we went in the air, my very, very favorite minister. And this was a good story because I was raised Catholic. You know how you missed out on the way your dad took care of you, got Seventh-day Adventist.
Seventh-day Baptist.
I'm sorry.
We'll make sure we get it
Baptist,
right.
That's right, yes, you're right. But I was raised Catholic, and Bill and I, our relationship comes from our grandmothers who were sisters, and they were all Irish, so they were all Catholic. So that was how that started at that point in time. But I would go, this was about maybe 15 years ago, I'd go to Mass, because I'm not a morning person, so I'd go to Mass at 4 o'clock in the afternoon at St. John Bosco. And then Steve Schuster, who was at First Methodist Church in Millville, had a Saturday Night Alive or something it was called. It was like 6 o'clock, I guess. So I'd leave there, I'd go over to his at 6 o'clock, and at the end of the night, I'd say, "Thank you, Lord. What a doubleheader blessing I got." It was just fabulous. I mean, Steve just retired. He was at First Methodist Church in Millville and just recently retired, but one of the best sermon givers I had ever heard in my life. And I have ADD, so the guy's got to be good to keep my attention. Because, honest to God, and I hate to say this, in the Catholic Church, I would count people. I'd count tiles. I just couldn't stay focused on what was being said sometimes. So with his, I was focused right on what was going on. But, God is God. We're blessed to be able to have our opportunity to worship wherever you want and to be able to do that. One of my best friends is Rich Myers at New Life Outreach Ministries. He's very enjoyable. I listen to some of his programs. In fact, his grandson is one of my key people who does, he's been at your place for the basketball games and stuff like that as well that's going on. So, Allison, there's not a maximum number that, I mean, it's like somebody comes and say, I'm sorry, second grade is too full, we can't.
Correct. Excuse me. So we have a pretty big buildings,
Yes, you
campus,
do. Yeah.
and so if if we get too many kids in one class, we can split the class. We have other classrooms to use, so we don't typically have wait lists or anything like that. We are open for all grades.
What about the teaching staff? Tell me a little bit about what you look for to hire for your teachers.
Well, since Bill sits on the board, I'll...
We do interview. They would obviously need to have the right credentials to teach for education. We look for a commitment to Christ, Christian background. There are some guidelines we would require them to follow. Statement of belief. If they have experience, we would certainly look for references along those lines, but we also have some teachers that have come out of student teaching, coming out of colleges to come in and join us. So.
Oh, this is interesting. I hope this is a possibility, because I know growing up, we were actually allowed to pray in school. Are you, I guess at your school they are allowed to pray?
Very much so. Very much so.
There
School
you go,
prayer
folks.
is done every day. We have a chapel once a week.
Oh, that's good.
There's an elementary chapel for the younger kids, and then I'm trying to remember if we have middle school and high school. So, and there we have maybe some ministers from outside come in. We have churches being able to get involved in that way, and they'll come in and help us to run chapel once a week. But there are Bible classes. Classes are started with prayer. It is not a foreign concept like
That's
it is
great.
unfortunately, in public school.
Yeah. I have to bring Steve Schuster down sometime to speak to your
Great.
kids. He's a fantastic person. Yeah, I mean, you think about it, and luckily I went to Catholic school, so we obviously said our prayers and, we had to respect. And I was saying before we went on the air, talk about numbers of kids. I was the smallest class of 50. My sister, who was 7 years younger than me, her class was 80. And I mean, I've taught. The most I ever taught was 40 or 35 at the junior high in Millville. And that was, so God bless those nuns. It was not easy to take. But on the flip side of that, what Cumberland Christian offers is smaller classes. And you're going to get more attention, individualized instruction, and things of that nature too, which is very, very helpful. And I actually am amazed that the people I know that went to St. Mary Magdalene when we had those large classes all seem to do pretty well, but we're all well behaved. And I'm sure your kids are too. I mean, that's the other thing, folks, when you're looking at trying to find a safe, wonderful, nurturing, prayerful community, Cumberland Christian School provides that for you, and has done it for almost 72
Plus years, yeah.
70 plus years.
Yeah.
And that's really something, when you think about being able to do that over the period of time. Now, do you rent any of the room out for, like, when I used to go there for church? Do you still do that?
Yeah, the church we mentioned, Fusion Church, does have an agreement with us for the weekends to use the facility, and they have a youth program on Monday nights.
Okay.
And I believe they meet another night during the week.
That's good.
We have an AAU basketball team that practices at the school.
Wow.
That's connected through a church in Bridgeton, Life in Christ. They do a wonderful job there. Kind of helps feed our program, basketball, from time to time.
Oh, that's true, yeah.
So we do have those arrangements with certain groups. I know we've had a Girl Scout troop that has met at the school in times past.
That's great.
Other activities like that. Church softball league, I know, has in the past used our facility. I don't know if they're currently using it or not.
Yeah, I don't know if they were still doing it, but I know that was always very popular to be able to do. And there are things that happen. So that is a little bit more source of revenue, I guess.
A little bit.
Yeah, I mean, not a lot, but it helps.
Yeah,
every bit helps. Right?
We're happy to be a part of the community and offer those services. Certainly we want to be able to cover expenses.
Yeah, sure.
It's not funding a lot necessarily.
No, but it's a good situation
Yeah,
both
certainly.
ways for the people, for the organization.
We're happy to help out. Anytime
helps
we can
the
get a church in there, that's great.
Yeah. We're talking with Bill Probasco, Board President of the Cumberland Christian School, along with Allison Hyder, Director of Admissions, and Candi, Connelly, Director of Development. We'll be back with our guests right after these messages.
The most important decisions a family can make are usually made around the kitchen table. At DeMarco Louisi Funeral Home, we believe pre-planning and the difficult decisions you face with the loss of a loved one should also be made around the comfort of a table, like a family. Our friendly, kind, and compassionate staff is committed to helping you get through this most difficult time. In your time of need, trust DeMarco Louisi Funeral Home, Vineland.
In Cumberland County, let's recycle right. We recycle cardboard, paper, aluminum, tin, and plastics number 1 and 2. Look for the 3-arrow triangle usually on the bottom of the plastic container. The number in the center determines the plastic number. Remember to recycle only number 1 and 2 plastics. Plastic bags, plastic film, hoses, and wires are not recyclable. They can damage sorting equipment and create hazardous working conditions. Don't trash our future. Do the right thing. Remember, reduce, reuse, and recycle.
At Mintz Insurance, we're proud to have been serving our customers for nearly 80 years, offering 30 different insurance products for your auto, home, and business. And to help ensure that you're getting the best rates possible, we give you up to 3 quotes for every policy, so you can choose what's right for you. At Mintz, we're part of the community, local representatives, supporting events, and proud of it. It's part of who we are. Mintz Insurance. Call today and find out how we can help you save on insurance, or visit us at mintzinsurance.com.
In South Jersey, we do things our own way. We say things out loud, face things head on, and never back down. And that's how we fight cancer. With the most advanced diagnostics, leading-edge technology, and a team of doctors who know how to treat your cancer. And most importantly, we do it right here at the Frank and Edith Scarpa Cancer Center, Vineland, and the Leading Edge Cancer Center, Mullica Hill.
Welcome back to Around South Jersey. Cumberland Christian School is the topic of what we're talking about this evening. And we've got the board president, Bill Probasco, with us, the director of admissions, Allison Hyder, and the director of development, Candi, Connelly. And during the break, I find out that I love Candi's uncle, Stevie Bacon, who, oh my God, if you know Steve, you can't help but like the guy. I love his personality. He is just such a great, great guy. And he used to work at Novick Auto Mall. And
Correct.
Everybody went to see Steve to get the car. But he did my windows and all that kind of stuff.
Yes.
He does interior design, decorating, and all that kind of stuff. And he keeps my cousin, do you remember? You know Bob Filmy, right?
Certainly.
Well, he keeps Steve and Bob. They're a dynamic duo at the Town Tavern.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
Anyway, as we talk about development, we talked about, Candi, the golf tournament concept. Yes. And then you talked about the fair that you have coming up. So your job is to develop more of these type of sources of income, I guess I would say?
Yes. I am new to the position since January. So I'm currently working on a lot of different endeavors. Then another big thing that we do is a vendor fair and Christmas concert in December.
Oh, that's nice.
So that's going to be a huge event. We have a lot to look forward to this next year. A designer, bag bingo.
I was just going to say that. You beat me to it. I'm on the Complete Care board, and we run designer
and
nice. Bag bingo, too.
It's a very popular
It is, isn't
thing.
it?
Yeah.
Bill and I don't go, but you guys do.
You're welcome to. We'll take your money.
Yeah, of course.
Now, do you hold that at the school, in the auditorium?
Well, that's going to be something new, and we will be holding it at the school.
Okay. Oh, so that's a new program.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a really good one. That has been, I know how well we do with that. I'm on the Complete Care Board of Director Foundation as well. So we look at some of the things that, have been successful for us, and that's one of the better ones
Nice.
also. And again, as we talk about giving people something they want, where they can actually go and have a chance to win some beautiful designer handbags, or a golf tournament, or a baseball game, or some things like that, really work out as well. Plus, you're nice. I mean, you have your facility too, so you don't have to go pay to rent someplace as well, which is good.
Correct. And I would like to also mention that we also have sponsorship through banners too. We have some beautiful signs that hang in our gymnasium. And
I've seen that when we were doing the games.
Did you? Yes. Yeah. So if anyone is interested in purchasing one of them, I would love to speak to you about that. And we're also looking to move outward too, so we would like to put some banners outside in the near future too.
And you got a great location. Wow, that's a busy one. Of the busiest ones in the state. Yes. And are you 856-696-1600 also?
Correct. And my extension is 304.
Yours is 309?
319.
319. That's close.
Very close.
That's great. So that's the thing, to be able to call. And what's nice, folks, when you're doing that, is you're not only getting the advertising, the promotion, you're helping students and helping the school be able to keep the tuition down and be able to provide quality education for 1,200 students. How many students have we done?
Right now, our enrollment is around 240.
240.
I was saying that we've had over 1,200 over the past decade and a half. Have gone through or attended.
That's really good. And I'm sure. Do you know? Oh, and this is another thing. Maybe a wall of fame. Of the people. I'm thinking of people that have been successful that went to Cumberland Christian. And honor them and have their families come out. A friend of mine did that. Bob Smith did that in Millville, and it became a very popular thing at the school he was at. And all those people, Billy, have had over all those years, I'm sure there's got to be a lot that are very successful that would be an opportunity maybe to,
that's a great idea. I know we do honor our students. Of course, we have our 1,000-point scorer and
that's fantastic.
100-goal score, those kind of things. We have our academic achievements and.
Yeah, well, that's great. To honor the kids that are there. That's for sure.
Yep.
Yeah, I was just curious as to some of the people who maybe graduated from Cumberland Christian back in 50s, 60s, 70s, that type thing, that may have, done something that, made them noteworthy.
Sure.
And I'm sure a lot of them would tell you that the reason they had the success they had was because they went to Cumberland Christian and had some great teachers. Oh, in fact, I did a show one night, and of course, being from Millville, I knew that I would love to have somebody come and host it from Vineland or Bridgeton. What we did was we had people call in or text message us on Facebook. Who was your favorite teacher? Who was your favorite teacher? Don't tell me Bob. Tell me. I know better than that.
Well, I go all the way back through Cumberland Regional.
That's right. I forgot. Yeah.
And I took Latin, and I had a teacher, Mrs. Pat Gable, Facebook friends with her, and I enjoyed that because I like history, and that was a lot of what we learned along with Latin. So I can't speak a foreign language, but I would say off the top of my head that's one of my favorites.
Well, Adam qui laetificat, juventutem meam, quis tuus deus fortitudo meam. That's Latin.
Yes.
And I learned that. I was an altar boy.
Yeah.
I still don't know what it means. But the priest would say, ba, 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 and I'd say, Adam qui laetificat, juventutem meam. Then he'd say something nice, come back. And so, I don't know what, in fact, that's funny, Bill, because I took Latin in high school, figuring, well, at least I knew how to say these prayers. But I don't think it did that much. But you see a lot of the root words came from Latin and that type of thing. So I'm going to ask you the same question there, Candi. Who was your favorite teacher?
Well, it's funny that you asked, Jim. My favorite teacher growing up was always my 4th grade teacher, Mrs. Zimmerman, with Upper Deerfield Schools. And I actually ended up being a 4th grade teacher for many years.
She was your role model.
Yes.
I thought you were going to tell me Mrs. Renard, because she was the only person who knew the toilet up there. But that's
I actually
nice.
did not have her, but.
Oh, didn't you? Okay.
No.
So Mrs. Zimmerman, is she still around?
You know what? I tried looking for her a few years back, and I could not locate her. So if anyone knows Mrs. Zimmerman, 4th grade teacher, please let me know.
So Allison, how about you?
kind of similar to Bill. It was my foreign language teacher. I took French at Cumberland Regional, and her name was Miss Wygand, and she just was very kind, compassionate, took me and my sister under her wing, and, you know, was more than a teacher to us. So.
Wait, that's something. I have a friend, Denise Arrigo. She was a Spanish teacher at Millville High School, and she got a lot of the kids that mentioned her too. And it's just not necessarily the rote memory, the thing you learn. It's appreciating the way they treat you and how, good, as you said, the teachers were to you. And I mean, I look at that and I think, yeah, that really, personality means a lot, and how they are. And most of them are really good, but some stand out a little bit more than others do. But it was so much fun to watch the responses for the people that, were calling in. It was basically Millville, but, we had a lot of good teachers, and, and that was something, I'll tell you what, I started teaching, believe it or not, this is the true story. I graduated high school at 17 years old, and my birthday wasn't until December. So I knew I wanted to be a teacher, so instead of going the normal way, I went summers and nights. So a week after I graduated high school, I went to Glassboro, and I took 9 credits. Well, those days you only needed 6 to substitute. So at 17 years old, I'm teaching 4th grade, Miss Baumhoff's class at Wood School in Millville. And I continued on my 18th birthday, which was December 12th. I taught girls phys ed at the junior high school, and I continued. But what I loved was the kids. I mean, I'm a people person. I love to be with people. Sure. Well, they're young people, they're littler people, but they're great people. And I just love teaching, and I was able to do that. I substituted at 17, 18, 19. I went to Bridgeton for a little bit too, but then in 19 I started teaching full-time at Allison Elementary School. I guess they're still in existence. And then December of that year, Millville came after me. They said, Jim, we're going to expand to 7th grades, and we loved you as a substitute. Would you come teach full-time? So I did. So January of that year, I started teaching full-time. But it's just, it is a rewarding career. And it's something that I always said, if I could just teach girls, I probably would have still been teaching. The problem, and those years you didn't know, I had 70 kids, 35 in the morning, 35 in the afternoon. There were 7 boys that drove me crazy. But then we said they're ornery. Well, now we know they had ADD, ADHD, all those things. Poor kids going, they need a medication. But I just loved those kids and those people, and I still see and talk with them today and stuff like that. But it's a great career, folks. If you're thinking about something, you can be so instrumental, as we've just talked about your 3 favorite teachers, and you make an impact on the people, and you still do after all these years, Candi, right?
Yes.
You still think about how important Zimmerman was. Yeah, I knew Gary Zimmerman. Did you know him? The banker.
Did not.
Oh, you guys are young. He was one of my favorite people. He was the president of South Jersey Bank or whatever. He was on. This is a funny story. He was on the freeholder board with me. So I used to go to Guarantee Bank in Millville. My little ones were like 4 and 2, and you'd pull into Guarantee Bank and they'd give the kids lollipops and all that. Well, I switched over to Gary Zimmerman's bank, and I went in, and the kids are like, Daddy, where's the lollipop? I said, this is Mr. Zimmerman's bank, and he's cheap. And I told everybody that at a freeholder meeting. Guess what? He started giving away lollipops and dog biscuits as well. So I embarrassed him in doing that. But what a wonderful man he was. He just passed away a couple years ago. But and then again, meeting the people is what's so very, very important to do. And I used to love going to Bill's house. We had our family reunion there.
Yes, we did. Yes, we did.
All the time. They had a nice pool, and we'd play softball. We'd have
horseshoes, a lot of good memories.
That's right. In fact, Bill's grandmom and my grandmom were sisters, and there were 12 in the family, 9 brothers and 3 sisters.
And well, they lost one.
That's right. Yeah, it would have been 13. Yeah. But I mean, think about that back those years, and it was just amazing how Harry Curley is our cousin, was the mayor of Vineland, and just all the people that we were lucky enough to have in the family and stuff. One year, Bill, I don't know if you joined us, when COVID happened, we had a COVID family reunion.
Yep.
So
That was
30-some people, I think, came up. And we had to implement or improvise during COVID, that was for sure, as time goes on. We're talking with Bill Probasco, my cousin, who's the board president of Cumberland Christian School, Allison Hyder, director of admissions, and Candi, Connelly, director of development for the Cumberland Christian School. There's openings and opportunity for you in September to get your child registered, and 696-1600 extension 319. Hey, I got that, 319, that's it. Anyway, we'll be back with Allison and Bill and Candi right after these messages.
More than a century ago, General Tire was born, right here in America. Since then, we've made a name for ourselves by making tires you can depend on. Tires built to handle any road this country can throw at them, and relied on by every kind of driver. So you know that no matter where life takes you, with General Tire, anywhere is possible.
Imagine living without pain. For over 35 years, Doctors Beebe and Doyle have helped thousands of people find relief from all types of pain. Millville Chiropractic Center has 4 doctors on staff specializing in hands-on or light-touch, drug-free pain relief methods. The examination, x-rays, therapies, and adjustments are all performed at one location. Schedule a consultation today. Enjoy life without pain and discomfort. Millville Chiropractic Center, the area's #1 pain relief center.
Complete Care has some big news to share with you.
We're here opening more locations and offering more services every day,
including our newest locations on Pearl Street in Bridgeton and High Street in Millville.
We're here with convenient, high quality, and accessible healthcare services all under one roof.
We're here just a call or email away.
We're here to provide compassionate care for you and your family.
We're here and we're ready when you are.
Complete Care Health Network, ready when you are.
I'm Brian Lankin, 3rd generation business owner, Al Shoes. Been at the same location since 1961, our 61st year. We specialize in work boots, work shoes, orthopedic shoes, baby walking shoes, and school shoes. We go up to a men's 17 and a woman's 13. It's $5 off 25 and 10 off 100 if you mention that you've seen this.
Welcome back to Around South Jersey. My special guest this evening is Bill Probasco, board president at Cumberland Christian School, Allison Hyder, director of admissions for that same wonderful facility, and Candi Connelly, director of development. Allison, I wanted for you to take a minute and tell people that are out there that have a child that they're looking to put that child in a school. Why should they put them in Cumberland Christian School?
I think we kind of touched on some of these things, but #1, we offer a Christian education. We offer something that the public school doesn't offer.
Prayer.
Correct. We offer prayer. Your kids are going to get a biblical worldview education. I think it's very important in the world we're living in, where there's so much sin and just scary stuff out there, that the kids feel loved, feel important, know how God feels about them. And so that's definitely most important. #2, we talked about this too, we have smaller class sizes. Yeah. We also have, I know we're a Christian school, we're a small school, but we do have a program for special needs kids.
Oh, I didn't know that. That's great.
And even for kids who just need extra help in the classroom, we offer, we have a wonderful teacher, a director of our program who retired from the public school, so she's very good at what she does and helping those kids. Something else that we offer. I think, too, I know public school teachers can be great. We all sat up here and mentioned public school teachers, right? So I'm not downgrading public school teachers at all, but I think that teachers at our school love the kids, care about the kids, the family. We have that close-knit feeling, and just overall care and support for the children.
I think that's a really good point too, Allison. It is like family. Almost like an extension of brothers and sisters and everything that you have there. And how I'll bet as you follow the people that have been at Cumberland Christian, a lot of their bonds they've made there they've kept. I'm sure they have friends that they've made in school that are still their lifelong friends, which is something that you can't put a dollar value on too. And that's very, very important to do that as well. And as you mentioned, I mean, the world is chaotic. My God, there's more mass shootings happened this year than there are days in the year. And it's like, whoa, it's something where I would feel pretty safe with my child at Cumberland Christian. And hopefully all of the kids are safe no matter where they may be. But you just don't know. You just see what goes on and what happens. But boy, and something, I don't know, with talking about church, I see less and less people going to church. And as an example, as a Catholic, we had 2 booming Catholic churches in Millville. I mean, booming. St. John Bosco, St. Mary Magdalene. Now, Bosco's closed, and St. Mary Magdalene maybe has half the people it used to have that are going to church. And I see, Methodist churches closing up. I see many, many churches. The Baptist church, no, not Baptist, the Presbyterian church in Millville closed. And I don't know what it is, but somehow there's been a disconnect. And if you want to connect, what a great place to go with your family, with your kids, to this church or to the school. And, as you mentioned, you have ministers come in and different opportunities for you or your child that's there to get some good education, good Christian education, and learn and realize that God is the answer, and we need to pray and do what we need to do so that things will work out for all of us. And boy, it is difficult, isn't it, when you look at the way things are going on now? It's like, wow, hatred and just, oh God, God says love thy neighbor, not shoot thy neighbor.
Well, you mentioned that. It would be good to point out we do have security at the school.
Yeah, good point.
Kind of hate to highlight that, but I certainly want to highlight that.
Good point.
I know a lot of the schools around do offer that for public schools. We do as well.
That's good.
We have a security officer there out front. People can see them as the kids are arriving, as they're leaving. So we have tried to address that. You can never address every situation,
right?
Regrettably.
Yeah.
But to touch on your other point, church membership, church attendance dropping a bit. I'd like to think that we're seeing a little bit of a revival. We have our enrollment has slowly been climbing, which has been helpful.
That's wonderful.
And I know just in the news you can look and find some positive news if you search hard enough. My son going to Asbury University, and they had a big revival that was broadcast. So certainly prayerfully hopeful that things are going to start moving in a better direction.
Yeah, and starting by Cumberland Christian School in itself having the values and God-based curriculum and those type of things that are there. And I know you've talked about churches affiliated or that use the facility and all that kind of stuff, which is really important. And I'm sure that the kids that are there love being there, and I don't imagine you have a lot of discipline problems. I would not think.
We're not totally removed from the world. Just like any school, we will have some issues, and we're there to counsel the students.
Right.
As mentioned, we can pray with the student, which may not happen in other schools.
Right.
But certainly, if the need arises, we have discipline. We have demerits and detention, suspension that can be used if needed.
Right.
We certainly hope we don't need to do that, but it is there if the need arises.
Yeah, and kids can be kids.
Right.
At times they have a bad day, and that type of thing. So that does happen as well. But I think, Candi, as you were talking about the handbag bingo, now you're just going to start that. This is the first one, or did you have one?
No, we have not had one yet, but we have been doing our research. I won't say how. But we are excited to offer that this coming year. So this summer we will be working on our fundraising calendar. So please be sure to look on our website at www.cccrusader.org, and you can find our calendar on there with all of our great events that are going to be coming up.
That's great. And I guess you can go there for sporting events and things to find.
Yep, we have Facebook page. You can go see that as well.
Now, graduation, do you have any idea how many kids will be graduating this year?
It's June 8th. Do you...
I think we have 17
Okay.
seniors.
That's good. That's
around
wonderful.
that, 15.
Yeah. Now, is graduation at this in the
It
gym?
is at the
school?
gym. Yep,
Yeah,
yep.
because we were going to try to do the
we were talking
graduation.
about that.
Yeah,
Yep.
getting that on TV. And, I mean, I guess when I looked, like, the basketball games, we were able to do some of those. And Greg Hennis's wife was the coach, right?
For the girls, yeah.
For the
Girls High School.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And who's the boys' coach?
That's Mark Yunke. He is assistant pastor over at Faith Bible.
Well, I hear a lot of good things about that church, too. I really do, which is wonderful.
And Mark does a great job with the guys. I helped him. I was an assistant coach with him for a while. That's sort of been the other thing that I've done at the school is help with basketball. So both my kids played basketball from middle school and up. But
That's nice.
It's a fun time. I still enjoy coming out, and I'll run the scoreboard now.
So is Liam as tall as you?
Just about.
Is he really? What are you, Bill?
6'2".
Yeah, geez. I don't know. You got all the height genes. I got
I'm
none.
the shortest member of the family.
No.
Male member.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow, that's
My
right.
dad,
Dad
my
was
brothers,
really tall too. I forgot about that. Yeah, as well as our. Well, you, I guess Probasco, is that part Polish or?
It's hard to determine that. We've actually taken it back to possibly Basque with Spanish roots.
Oh, okay.
So
I know Irish aren't tall, so we all the Curly gang, we were not real tall guys, but wonderful family, and we've been lucky. Bill and I have been blessed to be cousins, and all the great people that we have. And your grandmom, I loved her; she was a sweetheart. And, my grandmother, Aunt Agnes, and and all the guys. In fact, just as a matter of fact, the Curly men, the 9 brothers that were there, had a semi-pro baseball team. It was sponsored by Sturgeon's Bakery. You guys are all too young, but there was a bakery in Bridgeton called Sturgeon's Bakery. They sponsored them. And there is a thing in the Hall of Fame. There's a plaque in there. I did see that.
In Cooperstown.
Cooperstown. So made some familiarity there. Got to know everybody that was there as well. But I'll tell you what, it's great. Lots of activities going on. And Candi, you also said you teach besides doing this? Is that what you
I
said?
do. This year, when I returned in January, I began teaching middle school math.
Oh, that's good.
So, I love it.
That's great.
I love it.
And so you do that half a day and then miss other?
I do. I usually do some work in my office in the morning, and then I teach in the afternoon.
Okay, gotcha. So split the door. It makes it a little bit of variety, right?
It does.
That's good.
And that I have a passion for teaching, so it was nice to return this year.
Yeah, it really is wonderful as well. So, Allison, with the admissions, the getting the people to you, I guess, is the key, so people know to come. And I like the idea of where you have that shadow, where the young person can shadow somebody in the grade level that they're in and see what they think about it.
And I want to mention quickly, too, that May 25th, we're having an open house. It's for prospective families, interested families can come out May 25th from 6 to 8. And it's our annual art show, and our band is performing as well.
Oh, wow, you didn't tell me you had a band. That's good.
Yeah, 3rd grade through...
here's the...
Yeah, here's the thing. So, 3rd grade through high school, band concert. So it's also an open house, so anybody who is interested in the school, maybe you don't want to call or you don't want to go online, please come out that night. We'll have a tent set up, come to the tent, and we'll give you a tour and go through everything with you right there.
And it's a very nice school, it really is. It's well kept, and as we talked about, Talk about a fabulous location. I mean, it's easy to get to. No matter where you live in the county, it's right off 55 on Sherman Avenue.
Yeah.
In fact, I was the executive director of the ARC, which is close by, the school and stuff. And I was glad to hear you had services for students that need some special needs or whatever is there as well. So you're all inclusive. It doesn't matter what, where the child is, what level, you'll work with them and help them a lot.
Right.
Well, Bill, it's good to see you. Take care of
Always
yourself.
does.
Tell the family I said hello. It was nice to meet
Thank
you,
you.
Candi.
Nice to meet you.
And it was wonderful to meet you too, Allison. And I remember your number now. So I forget your extension. 305?
304.
I was close. One off from it as well.
That's okay.
Okay. I want to thank George Kachia for producing the show. And don't forget, if you've got a child that wants to go to a great school, Cumberland Christian School is a wonderful place to go. And you can go and give Allison a call, 856-696-1600, extension 319. I remember that. So
Very good.
For an old man, I'm not as, it's the brain's still there a little bit anyway. But we thank you so much. Thanks for being with us, and anything we can do to help you out, please give us a call. We'll be glad to do that. Our guests have been Bill Probasco, Board President of Cumberland Christian School, Allison Hyder, Director of Admissions from that wonderful school, and Candi Connelly, Director of Development, who's going to have a lot. The handbag bingo a lot makes Candi popular. I'm telling you, everybody's going to. I don't think Bill and I are going to.
Be watching for it. We're on social media, too.
Okay, that's it. We'll let you know when it's coming up as well. Thank you all for joining us. Have a wonderful evening. We'll see you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
This has been a QBC television production in association with our partners and sponsors. QBC broadcasts on Comcast Cable Channel 22 and live streams its programming on Facebook and YouTube. All rights reserved by Quinn Media and QBC, programming that serves the South Jersey market.